In the latest blow to the tech sector, former employee turned whistleblower Frances Haugen issued a damning testimony against Facebook in the US Congress. The testimony is regarded as particularly impactful because it is accompanied by a substantial data leak of Facebook's internal documents. These include research reports, online employee discussions, and drafts of presentations to senior management. Haugen issued these documents to demonstrate to Congress that Facebook has put astronomical profits before people, as well as harming its underage users and weakening democracies. So what exactly does Haugen accuse Facebook of? Perhaps the most significant charge is that Facebook's leadership was aware of these problems and chose to turn a blind eye in favor of profits. More specifically, Haugen said that Facebook knew that its systems guided teenagers to anorexia-related content, and that it had been used to incite ethnic violence in developing countries such as Myanmar. She also said that the company had on multiple occasions decided not to implement changes that would reduce inflammatory content, and simply did not have enough staff to keep the platform safe. Haugen's lawyers have also filed 8 complaints with the Securities and Exchange Commission, claiming that the tech giant misled its investors over user safety and its company's practices. Facebook CEO and founder Mark Zuckerberg has responded to Haugen's claims, stating that they painted a false picture of the company. He denied that they prioritized profits over user safety, but importantly, he did not deny any of her factual claims. Zuckerberg also reiterated his support for industry-wide tech regulation, saying that instead of expecting the industry to make societal decisions that belong to legislators, it is time for Congress to act. So what could the impact be of this data leak? After this testimony, we are likely to see more big tech regulation. Senators have said that they were looking into a range of legislative reform, such as child protection regulation. They plan on expanding the existing Children's Online Privacy Protection Act to make it illegal to collect personal information of under 13s without parental consent. Another potential reform is a limit to Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This currently prevents social media companies from being sued for content posted by its users on their platforms, even if they moderate it. Another effect of the leak is that it could give many potential laws for big tech reform the political momentum they need to be passed. But reform will not only be limited to the US. Haugen is set to testify before the UK, French, and European parliaments later this week. 2 members of the European Parliament have already said that the leak shows that Facebook cannot regulate itself, so they will be likely to see reform in Europe as well. Under the current EU law, the EU e-commerce directive that is, intermediary service providers such as Facebook and Instagram are not held accountable for content produced by their users. Haugen's leak may encourage this to change and hold social media platforms accountable for their users' content. But what will the impact on Facebook be specifically? As we already mentioned, Facebook could be expecting external reform which will change its practices. Facebook itself has invited these changes, as it believes that government should be responsible for setting societal standards, not private businesses. Facebook also faces pressure to change internally from its outspoken employees. It has already invested in AI-powered systems and hired 40,000 content moderators to take down offensive posts. But Facebook's massive global reach means it simply cannot manage the sheer amount of toxic content from dozens of languages and cultures it may not understand. According to Haugen, the best way forward would be for Facebook to abandon its monetization model and to treat its users more as content creators rather than products. This would encourage more user self-regulation and remove the massive logistical burden on the company for filtering toxic content. Other than potential reform, Facebook could be facing hefty liability for civil damages for misleading investors under Haugen's SEC complaints. Moreover, since Haugen has presented evidence that Instagram's algorithms are guiding children to harmful content, they could also be held liable under the newly formed UK Children's Code. This code carries severe penalties similar to EU's GDPR, which is up to 20 million euros or 4% of their annual global turnover. So what are your thoughts about the Facebook leak? Will it lead to positive change, or will things remain the same? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe for more great content.